Welcome to Of Mountains and Men, where we explore mysteries, myths, and legends from the Alps and beyond. Today, we explore how one of Tyrole's most striking mountains came to be remembered as a punishment set in stone. Long ago, in the untamed wilds of Tyrol, there reigned a fierce and ruthless mountain king named Serles. Towering and imposing, he ruled mercilessly from his castle high above the Stubai Valley. Serles was a hothead. He knew no mercy in his rage. And he did not rule alone. His cruelty was mirrored by his queen and by his counselor, both as bloodthirsty and callous as their lord. Of all of his passions, none consumed Serles like the hunt. His hounds and horses were more precious to him than the lives of shepherds and villagers who lived beneath his rule. When Serles called for a lustige Jagd, a joyful hunt, no person or creature in the highlands was safe. One fateful day, his hounds flushed out a magnificent stag. The animal fled through the forest and onto the open slopes, where cattle grazed under the watchful eyes of their shepherds. Trembling and desperate, the stag sought protection among the herd. But Serles showed no restraint. Consumed by the chase, he drove his horses and hounds straight into the terrified animals. Cattle scattered in panic. Encouraged by his queen and his counselor, Serles pressed on, until his hounds not only tore into the stag, but turned onto the herd itself, biting and maiming the cattle without any mercy. Horrified, one of the shepherds stepped forward. His crossbow shook in his hands. "Enough," he muttered, almost to himself. Then louder, "Your hunt ends here." With trembling resolve, he loosened a bolt and struck one of the king's hounds dead. The sight of his fallen hound sent Serles into a blind rage. "How do you dare?" he roared, his voice rolling like thunder. "Then you will feed the pack yourself." Spurred on by his wife and his counselor, Serles unleashed his entire pack upon the shepherds. The air filled with cruel laughter and the metallic smell of blood. Serles and his court looked on in delight as the helpless men were torn apart. "Well," the counselor mused, "they wanted to guard their flocks. Now they'll keep them company." But the heavens could bear no more. The sky darkened suddenly. An unholy storm swept across the mountains. Thunder roared. Lightning split the peaks. The earth itself seemed to tremble. Serles and his entourage watched in horror. The castle crumbled, its stones torn apart, as if by an unseen hand. One final bolt of lightning cleaved the air. Then, silence. When the storm passed and the sunlight returned to the Alpine heights, Serles and his court were gone. In their place stood 3 mighty peaks, cloaked in snow and ice. The king, his queen, his counselor, frozen forever in stone. Around them lay the jagged forms of their hunting party and their hounds, all transformed into rock and scattered across the mountainside. To this day, people say that on stormy nights, the howling of hounds and the cries of hunters still echo through the cliffs. And when lightning strikes the stony heights, it seems to seek out the petrified king, as though the heavens still rage against his sins. The Serles Massif is very real. It rises to 2,700 meters, almost 9,000 feet, at the entrance to the Stubai Valley, and is also known as the Baltrastspitze. Its most striking feature is its 3 distinct peaks, visible from much of the Inn Valley. Because of this formation, the mountain has long been called the Altar of Tyrol. Legends explaining the origin of these 3 peaks are recorded in Tyrolean folklore collections and local tradition, often describing them as petrified figures punished for cruelty or arrogance. In Alpine society, the hunt carried strong symbolic meaning. It was not merely a pastime, but a sign of authority. A ruler was expected to protect people, livestock, and pastureland, especially in mountain regions where the survival depended on a delicate balance. A hunt that crossed visible boundaries into herds, grazing land, and human labor was understood as an abuse of power and a violation of order. In this legend, Serles' fate is sealed not by rebellion or battle, but by the moment he places pleasure over responsibility. The storm that follows reflects a common Alpine belief that mountains are not mere inanimate objects. Lightning, rockfalls, and violent weather were often interpreted as signs that moral imbalance had been corrected. Rather than a hero overthrowing a tyrant, the land itself becomes the judge. Today, Serles remains one of Tyrol's most recognizable peaks, a place where geography and legend have merged into one single memory.